actually a limnologist and marine biologist. And so we're going to start in the north of Israel, which is where the Galilee is. We're going to visit the Sea of Galilee, which is a large freshwater lake that feeds the Jordan River. And we're going to also visit Arab villages in the area, as well as the diverse city of Haifa with its history of settlement and immigration in that area. And then we're going to essentially start a tour towards the south. We're going to head for Jerusalem. We'll probably take a day trip there. And then we are going to travel to the Dead Sea, which is about an hour or two away. The Dead Sea is the lowest point on Earth, and it's sort of where the Jordan River ends. And we're going to talk about some of the desert lifestyles that have existed in that area for thousands of years. And then we're going to go all the way to the very southern tip of Israel in Eilat, and we're going to do some snorkeling in coral reefs in the Red Sea, as opposed to the Dead Sea. And then we'll work our way back north, exploring the Negev Desert and the Arava Valley, which is part of that area, which has sort of African desert landscapes in it, and end the trip in Tel Aviv, which is the major modern city in Israel, and that's where we'll end up. So I think it's going to be a really interesting trip. We're going to take kind of a crash course in all of these landscapes and habitats, which are, again, entirely different from anything in the eastern US. We're going to look at the plants and animals and biomes of this area, both terrestrial and freshwater and marine. And at the same time, we'll be traveling with at least one faculty member from Oranim College, and they're going to bring along some of their biology students as well. So we'll have a chance to meet students from this college and travel with them. And I should point out that Oranim College is very interesting. It's a small college in northern Israel again, and it's in large part a teaching school. At least it was founded that way, so much like Oswego that way. And it is among the colleges in Israel, it has historically had a focus on multicultural learning and diversity, and this in part reflects its location in the north of Israel, which is the area with the most Arab Israelis in it. And so I think that's going to be a very interesting tour in that way for all of us. The idea being to learn about as many of the cultures of Israel, as well as the diverse biology. And to the extent that the conservation and biodiversity in Israel and its management reflects the history and politics of the region, I'm hoping we get a really complete picture of how conservation works in this part of the world. And so again, this one is roughly this, the cost is somewhat more. This largely reflects the fact that we're going to be doing more hotels and less camping. But again, the cost includes the international flight from New York City area, overseas accommodations, which will be a combination of dorms, youth hostels, and hotels. Some of the meals, although probably not all of them, there will be some group meals, and then all the entrance fees for national parks and museums and so on that we'll be visiting. And just like with the Tanzania trip, you'll have to spend for your own passport, gift money, and probably some food costs in the airport, and possibly a few meals in Israel. If you guys decide to go out to the bars or go out to dinner with some of the Israeli students, some of that will be on your own. Again, though, we haven't taken this trip yet, so except for having, I visited there individually, so we aren't 100% sure exactly how exactly that will all work. But this is our current plan. So we're excited to offer a trip to this part of the world. I think it's the first one that has been done, at least recently, by International Ed. So why don't we open up to questions, and I can stop screen sharing, and then we can just spend the last half of this meeting addressing any questions you might have about either class.
I had a quick question. So I noticed that it says there's a 3 credit free elective for this. would that count towards the credit hours for the spring semester, or would that be added later on?
I believe it counts towards the spring semester credit hours. Is that for the whole spring semester? Is that correct,
Yes.
Kamal?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But in terms of in terms of work, it's not a lot of work. As we mentioned, it starts somewhere the second half of March, and it is just one meeting, and you're gonna actually prepare one presentation, and the rest is just discussion. Karen, do you wanna unshare so we can see everybody?
I'm trying to stop share. Okay. Oh, there we go.
Yes,
Okay,
thank
that
you.
looks better. Sorry. I don't use Zoom that much, believe it or not.
That's fine.
I have a question. Is the 250 part of the cost, or is that like separate? The 250 deposit.
The 250 deposit, that is part of the cost, yes.
Okay.
With COVID and everything happening, is it a possibility that this will get canceled again, the class?
Quite possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like last time it was canceled, and for those who sign up for this course and they needed the 3 credits for graduation, those who are graduating, we accommodate them. So if the course did not go and you're graduating and you cannot graduate without those 3 credits, then we can actually make it like an independent course and get some assignment and get the credits.
Or you can just drop the class if you don't need the credits.
Does that mean if it doesn't go through and you're not graduating, you don't get the credits?
Isn't that true?
If you need the credits, we'll figure out a way to get them to you.
Right.
Last spring, there were a few students from our Tanzania course, which was canceled in April, I think, who needed credits, and we set up an independent study where they did some assignments related to Tanzania. So, you know, not like the travel experience, but they got their credits. So we'll figure something out if it happens.
Yeah, of course, everything is in the air. We're not sure. Nobody's sure.
I have a question regarding the credit thing. So, like, if this gets canceled, and we might do this class again the next year, would you have to take like those courses over again just to get to the trip to Tanzania as well?
Yeah, no, we actually are dealing with that exact question from some of the students who were supposed to go to Tanzania last May. So you don't have to take the trip twice. International Ed will keep track of who's done what, and I think you can just kind of sign on as a guest to the trip in a sense. So you don't have to retake anything.
So if this gets canceled, do you get the 250 back or no?
Those questions you can ask Megan Croft. I'm gonna put her email right in the chat. She would have all the answers to those questions. She's the coordinator for this course. So her email's right in the chat. Because she would know when and if it gets canceled more than we would, because she's the one who coordinates for all the faculty leads. But if a course does get canceled, that's not on the student. If it depends on if we like paid for things, but she would be the one who would have the answers for those questions.
I am almost certain, I'm not sure, almost certain last time when they cancel it, they refunded.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is Lisette Alvarado. I also work in the office. Yes, the program deposit, if the program is canceled by our office, will be refundable to the students.
Thank you.
Yes.
There's a question, will the Tanzania course be offered in spring 2022? The answer is that probably we are hoping to offer it every year. It may not be the two of us teaching it, but I would say tentatively, yes, we are hoping to offer it every year. It's been quite popular, and we hope to keep it going as a regular offering.
Okay, so yes, the course is, I see the other question, the course is open for everybody, not just zoology or biology, but it is more convenient, as you mentioned, because of the cultural part, everybody can benefit. Last year, or no, the second time we went there, I think we have all kind of students, not just biology.
Yeah, we had students from cinema and film studies who were just interested in that part of the world. We've had students, of course, from sustainability and global studies, as well as biology. And yeah, just people from any major. It's set up as a biology course, so biology students can get their elective credits for it, but we'll let anybody into the class who shows an interest. You don't have to have, molecular biology background to understand the biology that we go into in this class. Question in the chat, have the days for coursework been decided yet? Yes, I haven't looked at the spring schedule, but it should be on there when the spring schedule goes up. I think the Tanzania course is meeting Friday afternoon around 4 to 5:30. And the Israel course is meeting about the same time on Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
Yeah, so it should show up on the spring schedule. Can you repeat the part about the snorkeling activity in Israel? Yes, actually, this is a part I'm very excited about because I teach invertebrate zoology. The professor from Oranim College who will be accompanying us on the tour, kind of serving as a guide, is a marine biologist who works with coral reef restoration, and most of his study areas are in the Red Sea. That's the sea just south of the southern tip of Israel. And weather permitting, we do plan to go snorkeling and see some of his study sites and discuss coral reef conservation and some of the issues with reef biology in the Red Sea. So it's probably just 1 or 2 days of that, but since we'll be there with a coral reef expert, I think it's going to be quite fantastic.
I have a question about the scholarship information provided on the website. I was looking at the links and none of them seem to actually go anywhere.
Amy?
For scholarships, when you go to apply for the courses, as long as you, when you're filling it out, as long as you say that you would like to do the scholarships, it'll plop you in the ones that apply. So as long as you're filling out an application by the deadline, you can get into those. When you're reading them, you can kind of get an idea of which ones will apply to you too.
Okay, I was just trying to click on the link it provided to see what other information there was, and it just sent me to pages that didn't exist. So that's what I was asking.
I'll have to look into that. Here, I'm gonna give you my email and you can send me which page you're referring to, just so I know.
Okay,
And then I'll follow up with you.
thank you.